Chen never imagined his life would fall apart in a single weekend. But that's exactly what happened when he came home early from his construction job to find his wife in bed with his own brother. The divorce papers came 3 months later. The custody battle lasted 6. And when the dust finally settled, Marcus was left with 2 things: full custody of his 7-year-old daughter Emma, and a mountain of legal debt that seemed impossible to climb. Now, 14 months after his world collapsed, Marcus sits at a scratched kitchen table in a 1-bedroom apartment that smells faintly of mildew, staring at an eviction notice. Red ink. Bold letters. 30 days to pay $4,200 in back rent, or he and Emma are out on the street. His hands shake as he counts the cash from his wallet. $63. His bank account? Overdrawn. His next paycheck? Already spent on Emma's school supplies and the medications she needs for her asthma. Daddy, are we going to be okay? Emma asks from the doorway, clutching her stuffed rabbit, the same one her mother bought her before everything fell apart. Marcus forces a smile, the kind that doesn't quite reach his eyes. We're going to be fine, sweetheart. Daddy's got a plan. But he doesn't have a plan. Not really. That night, after tucking Emma into bed and singing her favorite lullaby, Marcus lies awake on the lumpy couch that's become his bed. The ceiling has a water stain shaped like a question mark. Fitting, he thinks, since his entire life has become one giant question with no answer. He's a good man. Works hard. Plays by the rules. Coaches Emma's soccer team on Saturdays. Packs her lunch every morning with a little note that says, "Daddy loves you." But goodness doesn't pay the rent. Hard work at $9 an hour doesn't cover the cost of broken dreams. As he scrolls through his phone looking for overnight shift opportunities, something catches his eye. A Facebook ad for a storage unit auction happening this Saturday. Hidden treasures. Life-changing finds. One man's trash is another man's fortune. Marcus has seen those reality shows. Storage wars. Auction hunters. People buying abandoned storage units and striking gold. But that's TV, right? That doesn't happen to regular people. That doesn't happen to broke single dads living in moldy apartments with eviction notices. But then again, what does he have to lose? He has $63. The admission to the auction is free. Maybe, just maybe, if he finds something, anything, he could sell it, make rent, buy himself another month to figure things out. It's a long shot. A desperate gamble. The kind of decision you make when you're standing at the edge of rock bottom with nowhere left to fall. Marcus looks at the eviction notice one more time, then at Emma's bedroom door. He's going to that auction. The days leading up to Saturday crawl by like years. Tuesday morning, Marcus burns his hand on a welding torch at the construction site. It's not bad enough to go home, but bad enough that every movement sends sharp jolts up his arm. He wraps it in an old t-shirt and keeps working. He can't afford to miss hours. That night, Emma asks why there's only mac and cheese again for dinner. Marcus tells her it's because she loves it so much. The truth sits heavy in his chest. It's because a box costs 89 cents, and that $63 needs to stretch until Friday. Wednesday, his boss pulls him aside. Marcus, I gotta cut your hours next week. Economy's tough, man. Sorry. 20 hours instead of 40. The math is simple and devastating. Even if he makes rent this month, he won't make it next month. Or the month after that. The hole just keeps getting deeper. That evening, he almost talks himself out of the auction entirely. Who is he kidding? He knows nothing about antiques, collectibles, or valuables. He'd probably spend his last $63 on a unit full of garbage and old newspapers. It's reckless, irresponsible. Exactly the kind of impulsive decision that got his brother into trouble, and he swore he'd never be like his brother. Thursday, Emma comes home from school crying. The other kids made fun of her shoes, the ones with the sole peeling off that Marcus has been gluing back together every week. She asks if she can get new ones like the other girls have. Soon, baby. I promise. Soon. Another promise he doesn't know if he can keep. He adds it to the growing list. That night, Marcus lies awake again, staring at that question mark-shaped water stain. He thinks about his father, who worked 3 jobs to keep the family afloat after his mother got sick. His father never gave up. Never stopped fighting. Sometimes you gotta take a swing, son, his dad used to say. Even if you miss, at least you swung. Friday arrives. Payday. After taxes and the garnishment from his divorce lawyer, Marcus clears $287. He immediately pays the electric bill, $1.94, because Emma needs her nebulizer for her asthma. He buys groceries, $1.52, the bare minimum. Gas for the truck, $1.30. That leaves $111 in his pocket. The eviction notice still sits on the kitchen table, mocking him with its red letters and impossible numbers. Saturday morning comes too fast and too slow all at once. Marcus stands in front of the bathroom mirror at 7 a.m., splashing cold water on his face. His reflection looks tired. Older than 34. But there's something else there too, a flicker of desperate hope that he can't quite extinguish. He kisses Emma goodbye. She's spending the day with Mrs. Rodriguez next door, who watches her for free because she's known loneliness too. Where are you going, Daddy? To try to make things better, sweetheart? The storage facility is a 40-minute drive. The entire way Marcus's hands grip the steering wheel so tight his knuckles turn white. His burned hand throbs. His stomach churns. Every rational thought screams at him to turn around. But he doesn't. He keeps driving. Because sometimes you have to take a swing. The parking lot of AAA storage auctions is packed with pickup trucks, vans and trailers. Marcus counts at least 40 people milling around, professional buyers with rolling carts and dollies, couples with matching fanny packs, young guys in expensive sneakers scrolling through their phones. They all look like they know what they're doing. Marcus doesn't belong here. He parks his beat-up Ford at the edge of the lot and watches through the windshield. A man in a cowboy hat loads a leather couch into his trailer. A woman with pink hair laughs loudly into her phone, bragging about a unit she scored last week. These people have money, experience, confidence. Marcus has $111 and a prayer. He almost starts the engine and leaves. But then he thinks about Emma's shoes. The eviction notice. His father's voice, even if you miss, at least you swung. The auctioneer, a heavy-set man named Dale with a voice like gravel and honey, gathers everyone around the first unit. Alright folks, here's how this works. You get to look from the doorway only, no touching, no going inside. You bid what you think it's worth. Highest bidder wins. Cash or card. No refunds, no complaints. The first unit rolls open. It's packed floor to ceiling with furniture, boxes, and what looks like Christmas decorations. The bidding starts at $50 and escalates fast. Within 30 seconds, it hits $300. Marcus's heart sinks. He can't compete with these people. The second unit is worse, vintage clothing and old electronics. It goes for $450. The third unit makes Marcus pause. When Dale cuts the lock and heaves the door up, Marcus strains to see from the back of the crowd. The unit is smaller than the others, maybe 5 by 10. Near the front, there's a large plastic water jug, transparent enough to see it's filled with coins. Mostly pennies from what Marcus can tell, maybe some silver mixed in. $50 worth if he's lucky. Behind it, there's old furniture, a beaten-up dresser, some cardboard boxes that look water-damaged, a stack of yellowed magazines. Junk mostly. The kind of stuff that costs more to haul to the dump than it's worth. But in the back corner, barely visible in the dim light, there's something covered with a heavy blue tarp. The outline suggests more containers, maybe boxes, but it's impossible to tell what's underneath. Could be trash bags full of clothes. Could be more junk. Could be nothing. Or it could be something. Well folks, not much to see here, Dale announces, already sounding bored. Looks like somebody's leftovers. Coin jar might get you lunch money. The professional buyers barely glance at it before moving toward the next unit. A couple whispers to each other and shakes their heads. Too much risk for too little visible reward. But Marcus stares at that tarp. Something about it nags at him. Why would someone bother covering junk? Why the heavy tarp instead of just loose trash bags? Alright folks, let's start the bidding at $20. Silence. No one raises their hand. Come on now, $20 for the coin jar alone. Anyone? Marcus's throat tightens. $20. That's groceries for 3 days. That's gas to get to work. That's money he can't afford to gamble. But that tarp? $15 then. Somebody give me 15. Still nothing. The crowd is already drifting away. $10. Final offer before I move on. An older man near the front lazily raises his hand without even looking up from his phone. 10. Dale nods. There we go. $10, do I hear 15? Marcus's heart races. Someone else sees something here. Or maybe they're just bored. Maybe they bid on everything. But if this guy wants it, maybe there's a reason. 15. Marcus calls out before he can stop himself. The older man glances back, sizing Marcus up with a quick look. He shrugs. 20. Dale grins, sensing a bit of action. $20. Do I hear 25? Marcus's palms are sweating. $25. That's the copay for Emma's asthma medication. But that tarp, something about it pulls at him. 25, Marcus says, his voice steadier than he feels. The older man looks at the unit again, then at Marcus, then shakes his head and waves his hand dismissively. All yours, buddy. But just as Dale opens his mouth, a voice from the side cuts in. 30. Marcus turns to see a younger guy in a Lakers jersey, someone who's been quiet all morning. He's got that casual confidence of someone betting spare change. $30. Do I hear 35? Dale's gavel hovers. This is it. Marcus does the math in his head. $35 leaves him with 76. $76 to last until his next check. To feed Emma. To put gas in the truck. To survive. He thinks about his father working 3 jobs. He thinks about Emma's shoes with the peeling sole. He thinks about the question mark on his ceiling. He thinks about that tarp. 35. Marcus shouts louder than he intended. The Lakers jersey guy pauses, studies Marcus for a long moment, then smirks and shakes his head. Nah man. It's yours. 35 going once. Dale's voice echoes off the metal units. Going twice. Marcus holds his breath. His burned hand throbs. His heart hammers against his ribs. Sold. To the gentleman in the blue shirt for $35. The gavel comes down like thunder. Marcus just spent $35. Money meant for food, for gas, for survival, on a storage unit that's probably full of nothing. His hands shake as he pulls out his wallet. There's no turning back now. Marcus's hands tremble as he signs the paperwork and hands Dale $35 in cash. 3 tens and a 5. Dale slaps an orange sticker on the unit with Marcus's name scrawled in black marker and tosses him the key to the new padlock. You got 48 hours to clear it out, buddy. Good luck. The crowd has already moved on to unit number 4. Marcus stands alone in front of his purchase, staring at the closed door like it might bite him. $76. That's all he has left in the world. He takes a deep breath and rolls up the door. The afternoon sun floods into the unit, illuminating dust particles that dance in the stale air. It smells like cardboard and old pennies and something else, something metallic and forgotten. Marcus steps inside. The coin jug is heavier than it looks. He hefts it up and the coins shift inside with a satisfying sound. Maybe $40 or $50 worth of mostly pennies, just like he thought. He sets it aside near the door. The dresser drawers are empty except for some old receipts and a broken picture frame. The cardboard boxes contain exactly what he feared: water-damaged books, old VHS tapes, someone's forgotten tax returns from 2003. Worthless. Marcus's stomach drops. This is it. This is what he spent $35 on. Junk and a jar of pennies that might get him back to breaking even if he's lucky. He almost walks out right there. But the tarp is still in the back corner, and he didn't drive 40 minutes and spend money he doesn't have to leave without at least looking. Marcus makes his way past the furniture, ducking under a low-hanging shelf, and grabs the edge of the blue tarp. It's thick, industrial grade, the kind people use to protect things that matter. His burned hand screams as he grips the heavy plastic. He pulls. The tarp slides off with a sound like a whisper and a promise. And Marcus freezes. Behind the tarp, stacked 3 high and 4 deep, are more jugs. Not just one. Not just 2. 12 large containers. Water jugs, pickle jars, old pretzel containers, even a glass water cooler bottle, every single one of them filled to the brim with coins. But these aren't like the first jug. These are different. Even in the dim light of the storage unit, Marcus can see the glint of silver. Quarters. Lots of quarters. Some jugs seem to be nothing but quarters. Others have a mix: half dollars, silver dollars, rolls of coins wrapped in paper, some coins in protective sleeves. Marcus's knees nearly give out. He crouches down, his hand hovering over the closest jug like it might disappear if he touches it. Through the translucent plastic he can make out dates on some of the quarters. 1960s, 1950s. Some even older. His construction worker brain does the math automatically. A gallon jug filled with quarters. That's roughly $3,000 in face value alone. And there are 12 jugs here. Maybe more hidden behind these. $40,000. Maybe more. Maybe a lot more. Marcus sits down hard on the concrete floor, his back against the wall, staring at the jugs like they might vanish if he blinks. This morning he had $111 and an eviction notice. Now he's sitting in a storage unit he bought for $35, surrounded by what might be enough money to change everything. His phone buzzes in his pocket. A text from Mrs. Rodriguez. Emma wants to know when you're coming home. She misses you. Marcus reads the message 3 times, then looks back at the jugs. Soon, baby, he whispers to the empty unit. Daddy's coming home soon. But first he needs to figure out exactly what he's found. And how much his life just changed. Marcus doesn't sleep that night. It takes him 2.5 hours to load everything into his truck. Every single jug. The first one, the big water jug he saw from the doorway, isn't so bad. He hoists it up, grunting at the weight, at least 40 pounds, and carries it to his Ford parked 50 feet away. His burned hand protests immediately, sending sharp jolts up his forearm. By the 4th jug, sweat is pouring down his face despite the cool evening air. By the 8th, his lower back is screaming and his legs are shaking. By the 13th and final jug, Marcus has to stop twice just to catch his breath. His shirt is soaked through. His hands are raw. He can barely grip the steering wheel. But they're all there. 13 jugs packed carefully in the truck bed, covered with a blue tarp and tied down with every bungee cord he owns. A small fortune in coins, all his now. As he locks the storage unit, Marcus glances back at the dresser, the boxes, the junk he still needs to clear out. He has until Tuesday to remove everything or they'll charge him a disposal fee he definitely can't afford. Tomorrow. He'll deal with it tomorrow. Right now he just needs to get these coins home. Emma is already asleep when he gets home at 7:30. Mrs. Rodriguez gives him a knowing look as he stumbles through the door, his entire body trembling with exhaustion. You find what you were looking for? She asks. Marcus just nods. He doesn't have words yet. That night, after checking on Emma, her small chest rising and falling peacefully, her stuffed rabbit tucked under her chin, Marcus sits on the kitchen floor and hauls in the first jug. He starts with the one from the front of the unit, the visible one that got him to bid in the first place. The coins pour out across the linoleum like a metallic waterfall. Quarters mostly. He begins sorting them into piles by decade. 1970s, 1960s, 1950s. His fingers are black with grime within minutes, and the acidic smell of old copper fills the kitchen. 3 hours later he's counted $847 in that jug alone. Just face value. Not accounting for any that might be silver or rare. But then the doubt creeps in. What if the other jugs aren't the same? What if this was the good one and the rest are just pennies? What if he's counting chickens before they hatch, making plans with money he doesn't actually have yet? Marcus brings in one of the jugs from under the tarp. More quarters. But as he pours them out, something else tumbles onto the floor with a different sound, heavier, duller. Silver dollars. His hands shake as he picks one up. 1889. The coin is thick, heavy, real. He grabs his phone and searches frantically. 1889 Morgan silver dollar value. The results make his vision blur. Depending on condition, anywhere from $40 to several hundred. And there are at least 20 of them scattered across his kitchen floor. Marcus has to put his head between his knees to keep from hyperventilating. Sunday morning comes too fast. Emma wakes up at 6 a.m. and finds her father asleep on the kitchen floor, surrounded by neat stacks of coins organized by year and type. Daddy, what's all this? Marcus jolts awake, disoriented. Every muscle in his body aches. It's, Daddy found some old coins, sweetheart. Are we rich? She asks with the innocent bluntness only a 7-year-old can manage. Marcus looks at the coins, then at his daughter's hopeful face, then at the eviction notice still sitting on the table. I don't know yet, baby. But things might be okay. The day is spent in a blur of counting, sorting, and researching. Emma helps by organizing the pennies into piles of 10 while Marcus focuses on the quarters and silver dollars. She doesn't understand what any of it means, but she loves being part of Daddy's treasure hunt. By late afternoon, Marcus has processed 7 of the 13 jugs. His conservative estimate so far, just over $18,000 in face value alone. And that's not counting the silver content or the collectible value of the older coins. But as the sun sets and exhaustion sets in, Marcus remembers the storage unit. He still needs to haul out all that junk, The dresser, the boxes, the magazines. Tuesday's deadline is looming. As he's mentally planning tomorrow's trip, Emma tugs on his sleeve. "Daddy, what's this?" She holds up a coin that doesn't look like the others. It's larger, heavier, with a different shine. Marcus takes it from her small hand and his breath catches. It's a gold coin. His fingers tremble as he turns it over. United States of America. $20. 1924. A $20 gold piece. A St. Gaudens double eagle. He grabs his phone with shaking hands and searches. His eyes go wide at the results. Even in average condition, these coins sell for over $2,000. "Emma, baby, where did you find this?" She points to jug number 8, still sealed and sitting by the door. "It was stuck to the side, Daddy. I saw it shining." Marcus carefully opens jug number 8 and pours it slowly onto a towel. More gold coins tumble out. 5, 10, 15. 20 of them mixed in with the silver dollars and quarters. Marcus's vision swims. His hands won't stop shaking. This isn't just enough to pay rent. This is life-changing money. Monday morning, Marcus wakes up on the kitchen floor again, his body screaming in protest. Emma is already dressed for school, sitting at the table eating cereal and watching her father sleep among piles of coins. "Mrs. Rodriguez says I can stay with her after school today," Emma announces between spoonfuls. "She says you look like you need rest." Marcus sits up, his spine cracking. "Daddy's fine, sweetheart. Just busy." But he's not fine. He's running on 3 hours of sleep over 2 days, his hands are blistered from handling coins, and his mind is racing with numbers that don't seem real. After dropping Emma at school, Marcus drives straight to Berkshire Coins and Collectibles, a small shop he found online with decent reviews. The owner, an elderly man named Walter with thick glasses and gentle hands, agrees to look at a sample. Marcus pulls out 5 of the gold coins and 10 of the silver dollars. Walter's expression doesn't change, but his hands move slower, more carefully. He examines each coin under a jeweler's loupe, checking dates, mint marks, or patterns. The silence stretches for what feels like hours. Finally, Walter looks up. "Where did you get these?" "Storage auction," Marcus says, his voice hoarse. "Are they real?" "Oh, they're real." Walter sets down the loupe. "These gold pieces alone. You're looking at about $12,000 for just these 5. The silver dollars, depending on condition and rarity, anywhere from 50 to 300 each." Marcus's legs nearly give out. He grabs the counter for support. "How many do you have?" Walter asks quietly. "More," is all Marcus can manage. Walter nods slowly. "Son, you need to be very careful. This kind of find, word gets around. Don't tell anyone else what you've got. Bring them to me in small batches. I'll give you fair market value and I won't ask questions." Marcus drives home in a daze, Walter's words echoing in his head. 12,000 for just 5 coins. He counted at least 40 gold coins across the remaining jugs last night. That's nearly $100,000. Just in gold. The silver dollars, the rare quarters, the face value of everything else. He's sitting on $250,000. Maybe more. But first, he needs to clear out that storage unit. Marcus spends Monday afternoon hauling the junk to the dump. The dresser, the water-damaged boxes, the old magazines. His truck makes 3 trips. The attendant at the dump barely glances at the load. Just another guy clearing out someone's forgotten life. On his final trip back to the storage unit to make sure it's completely empty, Marcus notices something he missed before. Behind where the dresser stood, there's a small metal box bolted to the wall, painted the same color as the unit. It's barely visible unless you're looking for it. Marcus's heart races as he approaches it. There's no lock, just a simple latch covered in dust. He opens it. Inside is a yellowed envelope and a small notebook. Marcus pulls out the envelope first. It's addressed to whoever finds this in shaky handwriting. His hands tremble as he opens it and reads. "My name was Robert Mitchell. I collected coins for 47 years. No wife. No kids. No family left who cared. The cancer got me before I could do anything with these. If you found them, they're yours now. I hope they help you more than they helped me." There's a list in the notebook of the rare ones. The 1909 SVDB penny is in jug number 4. Worth about $1,500 if you can find it. The 1916 D Mercury dime is in jug 9. Worth about $3,000. Good luck. Do something good with it. RM. Marcus slides down the wall, clutching the letter and notebook. This wasn't just random coins someone abandoned. This was a lifetime of careful collecting. A legacy left behind by a man who had no one. And somehow, impossibly, it ended up in Marcus's hands. He thinks about Emma. About the eviction notice. About his father's voice telling him to take a swing. He thinks about Robert Mitchell, dying alone, hoping someone would find his life's work and put it to good use. Marcus wipes his eyes and stands up. He knows exactly what he needs to do. 3 months later, Marcus stands in front of a modest 2-bedroom house with a small yard and a white picket fence that needs painting. The sold sign still sits on the lawn. Emma runs past him, squealing with delight, her brand new sneakers, the ones with the light-up soles she's been wanting, flashing with each step. "Daddy, there's a swing set in the back." Marcus smiles watching her go. The eviction notice is long gone, paid in full with money left over. The apartment with the question mark water stain is just a memory now. Walter helped him sell the collection strategically over 2 months. The final tally made Marcus's head spin. $287,000. After taxes, after Walter's commission, after setting aside money for Emma's college fund, Marcus cleared just over $180,000. He paid off every debt. Every single one. The legal fees from the divorce. The medical bills from Emma's asthma treatments. The maxed-out credit cards he'd been ignoring. Clean slate. The house cost $140,000, a fixer-upper in a good school district. Marcus has enough left over for repairs, for Emma's future, for breathing room he hasn't had in years. But the money isn't the biggest change. Marcus quit the construction job that paid $9 an hour and burned his hand. He enrolled in a trade certification program for HVAC repair. Real skills. Real future. The kind of career his father would be proud of. And every Saturday morning Marcus and Emma volunteer at the local food bank, the same one that helped them when things were darkest. They sort donations, pack boxes, and Marcus makes sure to smile at every person who walks through those doors, because he remembers what it felt like to need help and be too proud to ask. On the kitchen table of their new house, Marcus keeps 2 things in a frame: the eviction notice from the old apartment and Robert Mitchell's letter. He never wants to forget how close he came to losing everything. And he never wants to forget the stranger who saved him without ever knowing his name. Emma runs back inside, breathless and happy. "Daddy, can Sophie come over this weekend? I want to show her my new room." "Of course, baby." Marcus kneels down to her level. "Hey, you know I love you, right? More than anything in the whole world." Emma throws her arms around his neck. "I love you too, Daddy. Are we going to be okay now?" Marcus holds her tight, remembering the night she asked him that same question in their old apartment, when he had no answer to give her. "Yes, sweetheart. We're going to be okay." That night, after Emma falls asleep in her new bedroom, the one with the window that overlooks the backyard and lets in the morning sun, Marcus sits on the porch with a beer he can actually afford. He thinks about the storage auction. About the $35 that changed everything. About the moment he almost walked away, almost gave up, almost didn't take that swing. He thinks about his father's voice: "Even if you miss, at least you swung." But Marcus didn't miss. Sometimes life gives you a second chance disguised as a storage unit full of forgotten coins. Sometimes a stranger's lifetime of collecting becomes another man's salvation. Sometimes $35 and a leap of faith is all it takes to rewrite your story. Marcus pulls out his phone and opens his photos. There's a new one from today: Emma on the porch steps of their house, grinning with her gap-toothed smile, holding a sign that says, "Home Sweet Home" in crayon. He saves it as his wallpaper. Then he texts Mrs. Rodriguez, "Thank you for everything. Come by for dinner this weekend. I'm cooking." The response comes immediately: "I knew you'd figure it out, Mijo. I'm proud of you." Marcus sets down his phone and looks up at the stars. "Thank you, Robert," he whispers to the night sky. "I did something good with it. I promise." And somewhere, somehow, Marcus hopes the old collector heard him.